Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a point of view drive with the new Mini Cooper. So this is the 2022 model here, the second facelift. When I unlock the car, we are greeted with the LED lights that have the black housing. We have the John Cooper Works line, looks very aggressive. And let me show you the side profile. So this is the 5-door version. At the back, well-known Union Jack tail lamps, massive diffuser, and tinted windows. Yeah, so all looks pretty cool. Tell me in the comments what are your thoughts. And now, without further ado, let's go for a drive. All right, so this is the new interior. Let's start the car by pressing the start engine button. It comes to life. You will immediately notice the new ambient lights looking very nice, and also we have the new digital cockpit. So digital cockpit is a 5-inch one. Looks pretty nice, especially when you get used to it. At first I wasn't a huge fan, but right now I think I would definitely upgrade this. So I have my 2019 model that has the classic analog switch, but yeah, this is definitely more modern. And I do love this new infotainment system. So you have these widgets, you can just scroll around and choose various things. If you click it, you go into the widget. Currently, for example, the navigation and model in our video is a classic Cooper, so 136 horsepower. The horsepower remains the same compared to the predecessor. And this is actually the second facelift. First one was introduced in 2018. I am actually driving one if you don't follow the channel regularly. And yeah, today we're gonna explore the changes. So as I said, new infotainment system, we have the cool ambient lights, we also have the digital cockpit and the new steering wheel. So the steering wheel, when I first saw the photos, I thought that these buttons were gonna be like the haptic feedback, but they are not. They are the actual buttons. So that's cool, and I think that they are actually quite nice to handle. We have a bit of traffic. You also see the head-up display here, and this whole section now is on touch. So this used to be in buttons, but right now we have everything here on touch. But what is cool is that the AC controls, they remain standard with the classic switches for the air blower and also for the temperature. Okay, so we are going to take a drive around town, and as you can see, we have the automatic transmission here. So this is the 7-speed Steptronic dual clutch transmission, and the response is pretty good, and also the changes are sharp and for sure among the best in this segment. And now let me show you the very cool 3D shape of the buildings on this navigation. So you see the National Theatre on our left, and then this is where you have the icons and the buildings. So that's pretty cool. Speaking about the start-stop system, you can turn it off by switch, so that's always a nice feature. You don't want to go into this infotainment in order to change that. And looks like we have a lot of traffic here, so gonna go a different way. And while we are stationary, let's see the whole layout here. So the air vents are new. This panel is a bit larger. We also have the classic switches. This is the same as on the predecessor, but this panel here on touch is new. Also the animation here is new. This car also has the driving modes. So when you go to sport mode with the button here, with this facelifted version, you have the new layout. So there are two layouts, lounge and sport. In sport you see the domination of red color, and if you go back to the normal mode, you see that we have this lounge atmosphere. I quite like this balanced setting, mid-balanced setting, the normal mode. But of course, if you go to sport mode, you can also change the views here. This is where you would change the ambient light color, and I think that for sport mode this is for sure the best cluster light. And I love this clicking sound. It's the same as on my car. Speaking about this digital cockpit, so on your left you have the dials, rev counter, you have the big speedometer. Some additional information is here, so your range, your driving mode, and the clock. You can also have different things here, so driving information, date, your engine temperature, stuff like that. This is of course the fuel gauge. And yeah, those are the buttons, changing of the volume and the tracks, voice command, and phone connection. Speaking about phone connection, you have the Bluetooth connection. You also have the Apple CarPlay, but there's no Android Auto. So yeah, gonna need to pair your phone with Bluetooth if you have the Android, but I think that's not an issue. I mean, I don't even have the Apple CarPlay in my car, so I always connect it with Bluetooth and it's not that bad. And with this gear lever, you can have it in drive, or you can move it left, but then you go into the S1. So this is the sport setup for the transmission. So this is not the manual mode, and when you have it like this, you see very sharp response, and I quite like the sound of this car. So this is the OPF car, of course 2021-22 model year, but still it does sound very cool and very, I would say, sporty sound. Quite like it. And of course the handling of this car is just probably the class leading. Really feels good in the corners. Currently we're not able to do that, but believe me, from my experience with my model, it is a fun car. You have this go-kart feeling, and when you put it to sport mode, actually the steering is much heavier than on the standard mode, and it's very sharp, and in my opinion it's good. Some of you may say that in sport mode the steering is too heavy, but best way is to try it. But I love to drive my car in sport mode, and yeah, currently I'm also driving in sport mode, even though I do admit that this layout here, the lounge setting, is maybe a bit cooler. I don't know, tell me in your comments what are your thoughts. I'm not sure if camera is catching it. So this is the sport, and speaking about sport, you also have the sport display. So if you put it to park now, do a little rev, you see that we have this Newton meters and torque. And also you can do this, so let me show you that. When you go to system settings, display, and for central display you can have the revs here. So look at this now. These are the revs now. How cool is this? let's put it back to ambient light. So now this whole section is illuminated, and this new view, quite funky. I think it will look nice during the night, but still not sure if this is better than my LED bar. Probably something that you need time to, you know, consider and see it for yourself. But I do love the fact that now the ambient lights are here as well, and on larger section of the doors compared to the predecessor. And speaking about this engine, so this is a well-known 1.5 liter engine. 8.3 seconds is the time to 100 kilometers per hour, more than enough for, you know, most of the buyers, I would say. And the 3-door version even is a bit faster. But if you want a faster car, there's always a Cooper S, and John Cooper works with either 178 horsepower or 231 horsepower. The base trim would be Mini 1. With this engine, with the output of 102 horsepower, I would definitely recommend you to go for this one. You will have lower consumption probably because you will need less throttle input. So yeah. And speaking about consumption, let's put it to green mode. Now in green mode, you immediately feel that throttle response is not that good, of course, because it's made for efficiency. But this engine is pretty efficient. In my car, it's between 7 and 8 liters, depending, you know, on the driving. But that's really good result, and you still can have quite a lot of fun. Okay, so now we've come to the dealership. I will just take a final photo with my car. So guys, look at this. Excuse the noise, but we have the new version, and here we have my car, so the 2019 model. Now have in mind that this one does not have the John Cooper Works package, but you see some of the changes with the bumper, and also the lights are tinted here. The inner section is black, and yeah, well, overall, let me actually show you the interior on my car. So you see we have the classic dials, and the screen, I mean the inch wise is the same, but you don't have all in touch, so you have this buttons here, and the air vents are a bit different. Also at the back we have a less aggressive bumper, so look at this bumper. Of course, once again, John Cooper Works pack, regular pack, but even the standard one gets you more sporty bumper. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe to the channel in order to see more car reviews. Stay tuned for a full in-depth review of this car, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.